Good afternoon, family. This is another report, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. Like, share, subscribe, follow, like, share, subscribe, follow, like, share, subscribe, follow. Typically, we're on at 2:30, which is 5:30 Eastern, and I had to restart and reboot or something my computer, and I'm a little tardy today. I do apologize for that because I'm really prompt on, kind of getting set up at 2:20 or 2:15, and then I go live actually right at 2:30. So this was unusual circumstances. So thank you so much for your patience and tuning in. Tuning in. Share, like, subscribe, follow. Share, like, subscribe, follow. Share, like, subscribe, follow. So I had a good weekend. I did some pamper me, mani pedi, and I did that and did some other stuff. I've got to get some yard work done, and the contractor for outside, he's going to be back at the beginning of the month. So I'm going to do my part before the month ends, and so forth and so on. So blah blah blah. But yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about a report that I saw on. It was from, let's see, I think it was from the Oscars or something. Yeah, Oscars was actually last night. So let me go ahead and read my fair use disclaimer so I can have my I's cross my T's. So copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So thank you so much, and I hope you all had a good weekend. So I titled the topic today, I Refuse. Tyler Perry accepted a humanitarian award last night, and beverage of choice. I like lemonade, just like lemon water, basically, and a little agave. Not too sweet, just something to cool my quench, my thirst. So I didn't watch it live because I mean, usually they do some snubbing, and this was no different. And I watched it probably 20 years ago, but now, that's not even on my radar, if you will. But I saw that Tyler Perry, um, you know, accepted and he was honored with a humanitarian award. And I saw his speech. His speech was maybe under a minute or so, maybe 2 minutes. I don't recall, but he said, "I refuse to hate." He was telling a story of his mother did not, want him to have a life full of hate or whatever. Um, who does? Who does? Breonna Taylor go out and say, "Oh, I'm hating this country. I'm hating blah blah blah." She was in her bed. They knew that that apartment had Black and brown people in there. So when you say certain things with on a national stage, an international stage, I get it. He got a humanitarian award, um, for whatever reason. I'm sure there was a selection process, but there's two sides to every story. So if you have George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin, he killed Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin went to the store to get, he didn't get alcohol. He didn't get anything. Even if he did, that's his business. But he had a pack of Skittles. I remember to this day, and an Arizona tea, because I live in Arizona. So I remember those two. And this was 7 years ago, 6 years ago. He didn't have hate in his heart for anyone. So be careful when you are setting a stage of making blanket statements, because I know he said, do not hate the police. There's two sides to every story. There's two realities in this world. One is black, one is white. White folks do not have an idea, because they were talking about it on The View. They were talking about it on The View because I believe I saw like a snippet of Wendy Williams. I don't really necessarily watch Wendy, but I listened to a couple of things that makes sense that she has said in the last, say, 90 days, meaning she said she doesn't trust the vaccine. And this was from a Dr. Oz interview or whatever. I remember her saying that, and I can appreciate her saying that because, for whatever reason, we have to be cautious when it comes to vaccines anyway. When I was growing up, you had mumps, rubella, chickenpox, and some of the, you know, two or three mumps, measles vaccine. Well, it was just like a five or six. There wasn't a litany of vaccines that you had to take in order to get into school, for example. So, with that said, you have to be cautious when you're on an international stage of what you're saying, because in that moment, Tyler Perry, you're representing not all of us. I'm not trying to say that, but in the eyes of powers that be, you're representing a large demographic, mostly creative people, etc. And you really need to be careful, because if you talk to Trayvon Martin's parents, he didn't have hate. So who had the hate? Where's the hatred come from? Why are we so oppressed? Why are we so fill in the blank? I mean, we come out loving, kind, and sweet. I'm not trying to say all of our people. It's no question. We have some tyrants in our community. I'm not trying to say everyone walks on water, but unfortunately, to make that statement, we are most compassionate people. We are loving. We are kind. Did Tamir Rice have hatred? He was playing with a toy gun. And this supposedly officer, he didn't protect and serve. He didn't assess what was going on. So this is where we are. It's not a good time to make such statements. I know you accept a humanitarian award and you need to share the peace, and but the reality is we are at war. If we were in a civil society, everyone was kumbaya, peace, love, and happiness. All the songs that, Earth, Wind, and Fire, my favorite group from back in the day, they sang. I mean, this would be good if we lived that, if the officers lived that. You see Black, brown people shoot and ask questions later. So I didn't understand the spirit in which you said that. like about the police, you know, don't hate the police or whatever you I didn't write it down, but it was like I refuse. That was what I refuse to hate. That's good, but most people don't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to be hatred today. I'm not going to have a peaceful day. I want to just wreak havoc on this place that I live." The average person, they are fearful, trying to say fearful, lack of a better term, but we are 10 and 2. When you're 10 and 2, you still get shot by the police, you know. Cancel, but I'm just saying this has been a reality. And why are they, executioner, judge, and jury? So this I'm not really understanding. Did he say what he said on this international stage as if we have the hatred in our heart? We're the most compassionate people on the planet. The fact that we aren't in the streets, you know, like a January 6th deal, because we know what would have happened if we, stormed the Capitol. There would have been dead bodies. We understand. If no one understands that, we definitely understand that. Front and center. We got the memo on that, front and center, and this is where we are. You know, we don't have a chance to afford the luxury of just being upset and pissed off, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I've been invited quite a few times to these rallies here in Phoenix, and I mix feelings around that because the police are so aggressive overall. If it was back in the 70s, I would, okay, let's go, rally, okay, cool. Now, they're shooting people, not rubber bullets. On occasion, there's some rubber bullets, but they're shooting people, asking questions later. And even the last two within the week was the one in Minnesota. I think it was, let's see, it was it Minnesota or was it, I'm trying to remember where Chauvin's case was. So that's the one I'm talking about. The 16-year-old girl. When she called the police, she didn't expect to be killed. She did not expect to be killed because she understood in her 16-year-old brain, you call the police when you're in trouble. That's back in the good old days, 60s and 50s and, maybe 70s perhaps. The wheel has turned. We cannot afford to lose another Black or brown person. Tyler Perry, please. You also came out, you may or may not ever hear this, you also came out and said that, you were endorsing the vaccinations. So because you have a large platform, I took issue with that because obviously, number one, it's a personal choice. Definitely, it's a personal choice. We have the strongest DNA on this planet, period. Period. We can endure the sun. We don't have to hide behind, sunblock and all like that because we are of the sun. We are sun people. So you can look at 57, soon to be 58. I don't see too many wrinkles in my face. I don't know. I got maybe a couple up here, but this is 57 years on this planet. It's 57 summers, 57 blah, blah, blah. But we have to be cautious when we make statements that have long reaching detriment. I'm going to say detriment. That might be harsh, but I don't know if he said it off the cuff. I don't know if he was prompted. I don't know. I don't know all those missing details. However, it's a shame that in this time, I mean, obviously, we want to be in a kumbaya moment. This ain't it. We ain't there. We don't have that luxury of being kumbaya. We're dodging bullets. We're dodging fill in the blank. I'll give you an example. I personally, I bought my Prius back in 2015. About to pay it off, yay! Um, and so when I first got the car, I had like an accident on the interstate. This lady probably was texting. I think she was maybe 25, maybe. Okay. And I was on the I-10, was I transitioning to the I-10? I think it was the I-10. So you have all these lanes that are kind of come down. So you have 5 or 6 lanes, comes down to like 3 lanes or something like that. So people are, jockeying to get, I just try to be safe. I definitely try to be safe. I'm not trying to prove any point. My car will go really fast, but I don't have to prove anything right now. And so this young lady, like I said, 20, 25, somewhere in there, she hit me from behind. So we pulled over. She didn't run, but that was good. But the officer, this was 6 years ago, because I got the car in 2015. It was probably 2015. Yeah, 6 years ago. So the officer did not write her a ticket. See, this has been happening. I held my peace because I knew he had a gun and I didn't. So we have to think about the livelihood of we want to see the next day. We don't want to be pushing up daisies. So I made an informed decision because I wanted to see another day, another year, etc. So I could have been confrontational, I knew it was no question that she hit me. So she admitted to the officer, she hit me, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But he did not give her a ticket. So this has been happening all the time. So we refuse the notion that this is so isolated. No, this ain't isolated. It would be nice if it were isolated. This is not the day to be kind of, okay, just getting along, going along to get along. Those days are over. I think we have to be bold and have an audacity now because the stakes are very, very high. People are dying in the streets. And so we have to decide, make a split decision. Like I said, I could have challenged that officer. What would that have gotten me? Probably they could have arrested me for what I mean, I'm not trying to say that happened, could have happened. If I had escalated it, but I knew, this ain't the time. That was back in, like I said, 5, 6 years ago. So I know it's all over the country. It's like, oh, you're in Arizona. No, it's everywhere because I had the same incident 20 years ago, probably. This was back in 95, but yeah. Anyway, so this is in Atlanta. So wherever you have Black and brown people, you give me a person that has not been harassed, has been on this planet 50 plus years, or 40 plus years, or 30 plus years, and I'll show you a pink elephant. Because this is our, it shouldn't be, this is our cross that we need to bear. We have to bear, unless you want to end up fill in the blank. He made a statement that was not in keeping with, I mean, just, I mean, I respect Tyler Perry. I'll say that. I don't, I don't like all of his material, perhaps maybe 30% or 20% of his material is palatable. That's my opinion. I know he has a large following and he's a billionaire. So, hey, but for the arts of calling it art, I'm going to say, I mean, obviously he has an audience. I'll just say that. So the fact that he came out with the vaccine to vaccinate, I think that was another thing that he was, adamant about. We need to be vaccinated. We need this. We're lowest on the totem pole of getting vaccinated. I'm like, and you wonder why. You really want to go there? So, all due respect, Tyler Perry, you may or may not ever listen to this, but please caution yourself with your comments because I know that you have far-reaching audience, and last night was one. And Caucasians, they were clapping. You can tell they were elated that this Black man, this melanated man, just went back, just said what they wanted to say. It would come better from him versus them. But we're not there, Tyler Perry. We're still burying babies that have been assassinated by these police officers. So what world are you in? I mean, I'm just asking a question. What planet are you on? We are in the United States of America. They've never done the right thing. This is why we have so many cases of COVID-19, whether it's hook or crook. We have so many cases of COVID-19. We've lost, I think, over 600,000 people. Today, I saw that New Zealand had a outdoor concert because they've had maybe 2 or 3 cases. They got it under wraps. I don't think they didn't have to vaccinate. So what I know New Zealand is way smaller. I get it, and all like that. But to be the greatest, country. I mean, the greatest place in the world. United States brags on everything. It's not even attractive because we know we're in the belly of the beast. So again, all well-meaning perhaps, but I took offense because I said, well, Deanne, perhaps he was given the notes to give the remarks. I don't know. But in his all honesty, can you say that living in Atlanta, I know you have houses other places in the world, living in Atlanta, pretty much your campus is over there, almost where I used to live in the southwest area of Atlanta. When you go out, whether you're driving or riding, and you see the conditions of our people, does it give you pause that we're being killed in the streets? not by, we didn't, the hatred didn't come from us. Man, Alton Sterling, I keep forgetting because there's been so many. I'm thinking about the incident of the young man. I think he was a cafeteria worker, and he had his daughter in the car and his girlfriend in the car. Do you remember that? It was maybe a couple of summers ago, maybe two or three. It's like a blur. It's a blur. He wasn't even driving. I think that maybe I'm confusing. There's been so many. Um, he wasn't even driving, and he still was assassinated. No, no, no. I know what it was. He told the officer that he had a permitted gun in the glove compartment. Okay. And they shot him in cold blood through the window. That's the one I'm thinking about. So you can correct me if it's a different one. Like I said, we are being murdered in the streets. When I get home, get back to this property, thank my father's spirit, protecting, guiding me. Thank my ancestors. Perhaps nothing has come to me that I couldn't deal with. I'm gonna go out this afternoon when I get back home. God willing, creek don't rise, as people would say. When I get home, I give thanks for the safe journey. We have to start doing this. Black and brown people, we have to start doing this. We cannot take a second for granted. With stuff coming out of folks' mouths that just don't even make sense, no room to have hatred or, don't hate the police. No, I mean, Derek Chauvin, there've been so many more. There've been so many more that have walked after killing Black and brown people. You cannot tell me, Tyler Perry, everybody is kumbaya. This is not a kumbaya moment in this country. If anything, everything is being exposed. This is the time. This is the season we're in. Everything is being revealed. Everything that was hidden is now being revealed. It's not so flattering. If you live a protected life, a guarded life, you don't worry about or have any reason to pause on your next meal or what have you. This is what some of our people are living, this reality. Perhaps George Floyd, maybe he did try to pass a 20. Let's just say he did. Maybe to have a meal, you know, and he ended up meeting his death on the street, nasty street. And that was, he had 9 minutes, and that man was killed under 9 minutes. And he kept his knee there. And he was handcuffed. So Tyler Perry, think, because Breonna Taylor would still be here unless the police were so disregarding I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, something obscene. Instead of serving the warrant, ringing the bell in the morning, 8 o'clock, we've got a warrant to search your property, period. So we don't sign up for this. We're at the other end of this. We don't want to hate the police, but what other recourse do we have? Do we see a kumbaya moment? Did that young lady call the police thinking that she would be protected? She wasn't. What about the young man, biracial man? I think his mother is white and perhaps his father is black, who had the baby 2 years ago, the child is going to grow up without a father. So if they're not burying us, they're putting us in prison. Is that, Tyler Perry, do you think all people in prison need to be there, especially our people? Supposedly, Biden has, I think he's going to be on TV. I'm going to probably watch that and have some popcorn. Um, yeah, he was supposed, I thought there was some legislation that he was trying to pass. I don't know if it was the administration, with Obama. I'm not sure, but there was some ruffle in my mind that non offenses that involve, like, what am I trying to say? So non um, things that happen by the environment of a weapon, non-weapon offenses would be dropped or something like that. People in jail or prison for um, like lesser crimes, and they would be tried and perhaps released, perhaps a fine or something like that. So we're going to see if he brings that up. I don't remember. I've got to do some a little research on that for tomorrow or later on in the week, because I believe there was something that he was trying to pass, that would remove people from prison, um, that was not a threat to society, meaning they didn't have a weapon or, you know, it was just like lightweight crime is what I'm trying to say. This is a problem. Black, brown people in prison for crazy charges. That's what I was saying. When that happened to me, I had to make a split second decision. And am I going to challenge this officer? I do not have a gun. And I was like, let me get my behind off to, I think I had to, my blood pressure shot up a little bit because I was just like a little, "Arr!" And I think I went and got checked out, blood pressure or whatever. But yeah, she was probably texting, and rightfully she should have gotten a ticket. She should have gotten a ticket. But this is not the America we live in. I can't be any more down the middle. I don't have any criminal record. I don't have, I never spent time in jail, 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, no time in jail, nothing. I have zero on my record. And that young lady was treated better than me. I could have been her mother. But this is the America we live in, Tyler Perry. So I just want, I was a little taken aback because we're not in that, we maybe in a couple of generations, not in my lifetime, we will not be able to see perhaps a little improvement, but I'm not holding my breath. Unfortunately, I would love to live in a just world, a just country, but this ain't it. This ain't it. So thank you so much for watching. I do apologize for my tardiness. I'll be back tomorrow. I got my computer kind of all squared away. But yeah, I was just a little taken aback because, you have that stage that others do not. And to talk about COVID-19 and suggest vaccination, people have a choice. We have free will and choice. So if I choose to get it, my brother got it. My brother, hey, that's his body. He has the right to do with his body what he sees fit. Would I do it? No. But that's him. We came out of the same chute, so to speak. And in other words, we're full brother and sister, okay? But we could be we couldn't be so much different. We have different, approaches and things to life and blah blah blah. Neither is bad or better, or not trying to judge that. But we just have different walks in our life that have gotten us, never been neither one of us never been in jail, never been blah blah blah, upstanding citizens. But when that officer, when he saw me with a Prius, and she had some kind of like older model something, like one you would drive when you're in college probably. And he did not write a ticket for following too close. Nothing. So I know where we are. I'll give you other examples. Oh, with my name, oh my gosh, I've gotten so many. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I've had so many um, kind of remember where you live, yeah, yeah. My name is Deanne, and that alone is like, huh? Yeah. Anyway, have a wonderful evening. I'll be back tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. The Melanin Report 360. I am your host, Deanne. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe and be well. Peace.